It is a big topic, Miri and Piri. I can speak on this thing for a whole day. Now, in simple words, Piri is our saintness, our humbleness, our humility, our acceptance. And at the same time, Miri is our political side. We don't say it aggressive because Sikhs are not aggressive. We have never been aggressors. And it has been portrayed in a bad way over the last many centuries that we are the aggressors. We have never been aggressors. In fact, we have protected people. And that was one of the reasons why Guru Hargobind Sahib, the sixth Guru, picked up a sword to defend, not to be aggressive. So the idea is that you can't spread goodness until or unless you know how to protect yourself, how to protect others. Because there will be plenty of people who will try to fight you, especially when you threaten their thought process and when they think that there is something they can't get out of it. So at that time, you need to have a concept of Miri. Miri means richness. Richness when it comes to political idea, when it comes to sword, when it comes to looking at the rightfulness. So it doesn't matter whether we are doing Miri or doesn't matter whether we're doing Piri. We are always standing with truth, and that's the whole concept. So if we lift a sword and we fight for something, we are fighting for the truth. And if we are accepting something, which is a saintless part of, or Piri part of Sikhism, we are accepting truthfulness and righteousness. So that is the concept of dharma. So it is not to hate anybody, not to discriminate anybody, and at the same time, not to have a tolerance towards the hatredness, and not to have a tolerance about discrimination. To us, human body is just like a piece of cloth. It will wear off. It's what's residing in the heart. So if you are honest in the heart, and this is one thing, I was talking to my daughters in the morning as well before coming here. Yes, we talk about religions, but the first thing is honesty and humanity. If you're not honest, you wouldn't have humanitarian value, because there will always be a selfish motive behind that. So you need to have honesty, and if you don't have honesty in your life, there is no point of being a Sikh or a Hindu or a Muslim or whatever it is. You don't even need to be recognized as a religious person. And that's why the concept of Miri and Piri in Sikhism starts with honesty. You need to be honest to yourself before you become honest to other people. Because if you're not honest to yourself, how are you going to be honest to your family, to your friends, and to the community? So you need to know what you're doing. You need to stand with the righteousness. You need to stand with the truthfulness. You need to have acceptance. You need to have tolerance. But at the same time, you shouldn't be aggressive. A warrior is somebody who knows the fighting skill, who can defend himself, who knows how to tackle, but he tried to avoid any sort of fight. And that is one reason that we, Guru Gobind Singh, we've got a history in front of us. He tried to avoid all the battles. If you look at the history, those battles were imposed on him. Even in Chamkaur di Gadi, that was the last resort. He didn't have any option. He wrote that in Jafarnama as well, that I wasn't given any option. And picking up the sword was the last thing I had to do. So that is a concept of Miri in Sikhism. And we show it. It's not that we don't show it, because we are humble, but we are not illiterate. We show it. Guru Gobind Singh showed it with a sword, with a barge. We showed it to the emperors at that time. Yes, everybody has got a right to preserve his modesty and dignity. And that is why we are all wearing turbans today. Right? At that time, we weren't allowed to wear turbans. And we had to pay that price with our heads. And we did. And we will still do it if it's needed. Because it's a concept of equality, it's a concept of preserving dignity and modesty, it's a concept of, it's not an ego concept. We don't believe in ego. So as I said, I can speak about this thing whole day. We don't have time, but thank you very much, Merlin, for letting me talk for a few minutes.
No, thank you, Toda bhai. Very well said. Very